Check out this clip from the Pre-Patch Podcast.
Well, let's talk about another game that Enigma, I think you played, that you're saying is actually really good. I didn't get a chance to dive into it. What is Sworn?
Sworn, yeah. I found out about this from a buddy of ours, another streaming partner, a buddy of ours.
Do you swear to tell the truth and only the truth?
Yes, I do. I honestly do. It's a great game, man. Like it's so if you look at it, and I hate to do the comparison because it's obviously it's the easiest comparison to make. Dark Souls, yeah, 100%. It's what did we say? Airy Souls or yeah, Hades. It's Hades with multiplayer.
Hades-esque.
That's what this game is. It's a Hades multiplayer. It has four player co-op. And it's just Hades, right? It's a hack and slash. It's a really good hack and slash, man. Like I was really shocked with how good the gameplay felt and with how like intricate and detailed the characters felt. Like most of these characters felt extremely competent and different to me while I was playing them. This run I'm playing, I believe this is called the Oracle. I can't remember 100% what it was called, but like I'm playing a build where I'm using, so you get two different options, right? Or two different abilities. You get your main abilities from your weapons, which is your slash and your right click, your left click and right click. The current ones that I'm using, Claws, does like a 3 slash, and then your right click is like an AoE push, right? And then on top of that, you have spells, and that the one that I went in with this one was called, I think, like Spirit Guardian or something like that. And it's basically a revolving spirit that will just periodically shoot a spell out and attack people around you. So with this like one Hades, though, it's pretty much it's right down there with Hades. Like it literally is.
I'm getting
this borderline looks like a rip, honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I don't
God
like saying that, but those doors and like
I'm also gonna say it's given me some Curse of the Dead God vibes though too.
Kind of as well, yeah.
It does. I don't know if anyone's compared to that, but kind of get that.
They definitely took a lot of inspiration from Hades. You can definitely tell. They definitely took a lot of inspiration from like the recent roguelike. I don't want to call it like card based systems, but like card based systems or whatever you want to call it when it comes down to like being able to choose. What are those? What's the Vampire Survivors? What's that genre? Is it just Vampire Survivor-esque? Is that what they're labeling that genre now? It kind of gives me that vibe as well. Like where when you get these gods and goddesses, you can pick between like certain boons, and those boons have different effects depending on the gods that you go with.
These abilities.
What do you mean?
Like the attacks and stuff.
It's not an auto clicker. If that's
what I mean. Like Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, no, it's not an auto clicker like Vampire Survivors. I am actually in there. I'm clicking the buttons and I'm moving around to attack.
I don't see any abilities or anything.
Yeah, no, it's that's because of the build. Like the build, it's literally just slash, and then you'll occasionally see little spirits come out of me and shoot towards people. But
right,
it
looks really good. It looks competent.
It's for what it is, and for the open beta, it is an open beta right now. So if you guys do want to go, I believe it's still an open beta.
It's closed. It closed out.
Well, they just opened it. They opened it yesterday. Yeah. Yep. So after the closed beta, they were like, hey, we had a lot of really good feedback from everybody. We're going to open it. So I'm pretty sure it's on Steam right now. You can go and play it right now if you want to.
Request access.
Yeah. So
it is
very competent. Very quick. Like if you do it with a buddy, like if you're in there playing with a buddy, you can get through this extremely quickly. Myself and Crow Templar played. It was just us two, and within like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, we had everything unlocked. All the classes, all the weapons, all the spells.
That's not all the content though. That's just the playtest.
That's just the playtest content. As far as I know, there's probably going to be more content coming out with
I'd imagine. I'd hope.
But it was extremely easy to get through things. So I'm really hoping that they make it a little bit more difficult to
even
get
the shops
stuff.
Like even the shops and everything.
So this looks like they ripped Hades just right. I mean, right from the fucking game and just plopped it down. That screen at least.
So yeah, it's a good time.
They're Team 17 there.
Is it Team 17?
They're publishing, but it is the only other game these people have come out with I don't even know. Enemy on board. No, I do know this game. Enemy on board. I think that was Among Us.
I suck at these fucking puzzle rooms as well. Like I fucking suck at timing this shit, dude. I took so much damage on this entire run.
Windwalk Games is the developer.
So you you go through the map. There's two different, as far as it goes right now, there's two different bosses that you can take out. There's one middle boss that you have to fight, and then there's an end game boss. I think we fought two different middle game bosses. There was one that was like a little tree dude that moved around, and then I can't remember what the other one was. I think it was like a wizard of some sort that did like poison damage. And then the last boss, as far as I know, there was only one final boss, and it was like this butcher kind of guy, which they ripped again. It's pretty much the butcher from Diablo.
Yeah. Somebody in chat, Celia, is asking, does it have like a post like run like level up board where you're like adding stats?
Yes, it does. Yep.
Okay.
Every run is getting you these little crystals. They're like little purple crystals. And those are used to unlock like different. You'll see me go and pick those up right now. Actually, these little purple crystals, the 20 right there.
Okay.
Each of those is used to level up like passive trees, and inside of those passive trees, there's stuff like when you revive somebody, you bring back more health, or when you're revived, you come back with 20% more health.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say this mini game is also a Hades thing. Kill the enemies quick enough, and you get max.
100%, yeah. 100%.
Okay, I want to have this conversation. Then, are we like? Should we as gamers be okay with this kind of like at what point is too much
imitate? Like, what does imitation not become flattery and it becomes just straight up copying? Yeah,
because this, I'm going to be real with you. This looks really, really good, but it also looks disrespectful to Hades because it looks like it just takes Hades. Like, this boss obviously is different, but
yeah, I mean, so I was sitting here thinking the exact same thing because I'm battling between. Like, I'm like, all right, how many?
This looks like a great Steam Deck game.
Like, how many Vampire Survivor games have I fucking downloaded and played? Right? Like, how many of those games have I gone in and been like, all right, like this is just that game with a different skin and another version. Where I'm having a hard time kind of getting past this is that there is stuff in here that is not like we're paying homage to it, but it looks like a fucking rip. Like, it's obviously not an asset rip, but it's like it's getting kind of close, kind of thing to it. Like, almost to being like, if someone did a co-op mod and put them side by side, could you be able to tell that one's Sworn and one's Hades? Kind of thing. And I think, I don't know, that's hard, man, because I don't want to shit on this game because
it looks like they really. It's a lot of polish. It looks solid. Like,
I mean, Enigma, have you played Hades? You've played Hades, right?
No, that's what I was gonna say. Like, for somebody that's not played Hades, I've wanted to play Hades. I've just never picked it up. I don't know why. I really should. But for somebody that's never played it, like this was a great experience. I do see what you guys are talking about though. Like, having watched you play Hades and having watched other people play Hades, I am not disingenuous. I'm not sitting here saying, oh no, this doesn't look anything like Hades. Yeah. This is 100% a Hades rip. Like, 100%. They took a lot of liberties and they took a lot of inspiration and they took a lot of ideas out of Hades and put it into this game. I can see where you're coming from it. I do agree with you when it comes down to it. Like, there is a lot of things, like, I'm hoping that maybe this is just an early portion and maybe they're going to polish it further to make it look less like Hades, but even
more unique to their own style. But
even in my eyes, like, just having a multiplayer Hades, to me, that's something that I would play. Yeah, the multiplayer aspect, I think, is going to be the biggest part.
That's what everybody wanted, is a multiplayer Hades.
Is it? I didn't know that was something everybody wanted.
It's what I wanted. I think these games thrive in.
I mean, I think these games are really
Wizard
good
of
with
Legend
multiplayers. Yeah,
is my favorite type of these games. Specifically because of the
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that you didn't want that, Sin, because you're always bitching about places.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love multiplayer. I just didn't think. I didn't know people were I didn't know people were saying Hades was like needed multiplayer. I played through that game. I was like, oh,
the top like roguelikes there is. So
I mean, yeah, but roguelikes
no
are always
people...
roguelikes for whatever reason are my game where I'm just like, I don't want anybody else in it. Like, don't fuck with me.
Please,
when I'm playing
please ignore the fact that
roguelikes are the genre they need more co-op. I think it's a lot of fun. Like Gunfire Reborn is a solid example.
Please ignore the fact that I suck at these types of games and run into everything.
I do too. Don't
like
feel
this
bad.
this entire fucking run, like I was running into literally everything. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know what to say with that. Like, is it shitty that they took a lot of aspects from Hades? Yes. Is it borderline theft and not just like an homage and not just like wanting to like flatter Hades and the developers by making a game that looks very close to it? Probably. Yeah, 100%. But on the other hand, I think that like Hades, just like Vampire Survivors, was a trendsetter when it came down to these types of games, and you're gonna have that kind of thing happen regardless, you know.
I think Bill's kind of concerning question is definitely something that, you know, it is like where does that line get drawn between imitation and is flattery? And,
I mean, to answer a question in the chat, I believe it's a 4-player.
It's 4-player co-op.
It's not. I believe it's 4
4
players. So
that's pretty dope. Like I said, the only other game that I know that does co-op like that is Wizard of Legend.
Yeah.
That immediately makes me interested in this, despite the similarity.
The egregious similarities.
Yeah.
Just a quick hit to and maybe this is something we'll talk on later on down the podcast, but there is confirmed Binding of Isaac multiplayer being developed at long last.
Hell yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool to hear.
Yeah.
And that's one of the founding fathers of
of the genre,
I'd say. Yeah.
So here, this is the leveling.
Yeah, this is the leveling right here. So I'm sorry that it took me so long, but yeah, this is like you get it. It's split out into different trees. So like this is the legendary tree. This dictates like how many legendary gifts you get from gods, how many rare gifts you get, how many epic gifts you get, everything like that. And then on top of that, in the middle, it also has a specific like little flipper that's depending on what tree you're in will depend on what happens. So like this one I believe is like you gain an additional 20% health or you do an additional 50% damage when you're low health or something along those lines. So it's I think it's, I don't know. I can't say that it's different. I can't say that it's that different from Hades. Obviously it's very much a Hades game, right? Like it's very much Hades with multiplayer. Like that, I can't get past that. It's going to be that way. You're going to have people that state that. I do think that they did a really good job with it. And I don't think it's necessarily like just one of those games that they ripped it straight from Hades and it was a cash grab. It's going to just be a cash grab, right? I think that
you think it's going to only keep the name, being the multiplayer Hades, because I think that's what the going.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's good. That's going to be the driving factor for it. I think is that's what they banked on.
It's going to sell. It's definitely going to sell.
Yeah, it's going to sell 100%. Yeah. I think that's definitely what they banked on is like it's going to be a multiplayer Hades. They're definitely catering towards that, but.
Oh, the sword.
Yeah.
Is it, yeah.
It's
like the combination of the sword moveset and the shield moveset from.
It's egregious. I will agree with you. It's egregious. I'm not stating that it's not, but I will say that it is a good time, and I was extremely impressed. And again, for somebody that has not played Hades, I don't have that to compare to. I just have the comparison of watching you guys play it. I think it's competent. I think it's a good time.
It looks really good.
And I think it can stand out on its own. I don't think that it's going to be one of those games where it's like, well, it doesn't play as good as Hades. I think it does play as good, if not in some instances probably better than Hades. But again, I can't state that.
That's a big step to say it plays better than Hades. But I haven't played this, so I don't know. I'll have to play this.
I've never played it, so
give it a try.
Yeah. To me, it's one of those things like, yeah, maybe if I get into Hades, my opinion will change. But from what I've watched from you guys, it feels like it's a little bit more smooth in play style and everything like that. So
cool. Well, there you go, Sworn. You can pick it up on Steam on open beta right now.
Open beta right now. I don't know how long that's going to be out there for. So if you guys want to play that, I would definitely go and request access to it as quick as you can. Thank you for checking out the patch notes. If you enjoyed this small selection from our podcast, Come join us every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the full unfiltered pre-patch podcast. And check out our past shows on anchor.fm/prepatch podcast.